Okay, so we are live. Good evening to all of our viewers. Welcome to today's weekly career class, which is on the topic career in script writing and filmmaking. I also welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Mahendra, who is a script writer, author, and interestingly, he also uh, is an ex-journalist. So he started his career as a journalist in Delhi with the Times of India, where he worked for about 6 years, post which he moved to Mumbai to pursue his dreams of being a script writer. And very interestingly, as a script writer, he has written scripts for very well-known films and TV shows, about which we will be hearing from him today. And and so welcome, Miss Mahindra, and hope you are doing fine. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to be here and interacting with all the students. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Mr. Mahindra, I will be asking a couple of questions to you, and we hope that uh, the answers to which will help our students understand, like, what does it mean to pursue a career in this space? What are the various job roles and opportunities? And also, like, who should opt for a career in this space? And if yes, then how to do that? So, Mr. Mahindra, we'll first begin with uh, asking you about your educational and professional journey. Like, how did you reach where you are currently?
See, like you already said, was working as a journalist in Times of India, New Delhi. In fact, I did my graduation in English literature from Crodimal College, Delhi University. And then I started as a freelance journalist with Times of India. So within a year, they offered me a full-time job. So at that time, I was working freelancing as a photographer and a journalist both. But in an organization, you can work only as a journalist or a photographer. So I took up a journalist role. So that was an interesting period of my life. So I worked in Times of India, New Delhi for almost 7 years. And mainly I was covering crime. And in between, I was working also for Delhi Times, covering page three and sometimes all these parties, events, which didn't interest me much. But yeah, after 6 years or so, I was also getting dissatisfied with what I was doing. So somewhere I was like, I'm collating information and putting out information. So even a crime journalist job was becoming more boring to me. Somewhere I
Mhm.
started writing stories and this and that. I started to come to Mumbai and started meeting filmmakers, directors. And first person I met was Tigvanshu Dhulia, who later on made a film titled Shagir, which was based on my script and which was my first script that I wrote in Delhi. But it took some time to be made into a film. But I took a transfer to Mumbai and I started working in Times of India for almost 1.5 years here. And in that period, Mahesh Bhatt gave me my first film offer, which was to write the screenplay of Killer, which starred Irfan Khan, Imran Hashmi. And that was my first screenplay as a professional screenplay writer. And after that, I left my job to pursue uh, the role of an independent writer. And then I worked in many TV series, like you told, and from starting from CID, Manu and Manu, a lot of family shows, Bidai, Petiyan, this, that, a lot of documentary series, supernatural series, even mythology I did, Dwarkadish, Sita or Gita. And then Tigmanshu's film happened, Shagir. And I also became an author because there were so many stories and scripts which I was writing, but obviously all scripts and stories cannot be converted into films. Films are a very large, expensive medium. So I thought I should convert my these stories into books. So by now I have 4 published books, and then I met Ketan Mehta, and we were discussing stories, and the story of Manji, the mountain man, came out, and we started researching on it, and then I did the whole research and script writing of that film, which made into a very wonderful film. And from that point on, yes, I've been working on many other scripts, some of which got made, some of which are still in pipeline. Then I'm working on web series. Another book is ready. So yeah, so this has been a very eventful journey for me right from my college days to coming here to Mumbai and working as an independent screenwriter. Yes, thank you.
Great. Nice to hear that. So, Mr. Mahendra, moving on, could you tell our viewers about what is filmmaking? We have heard about this broad category often of filmmaking. So, what is filmmaking and what would be some of the things that come under this? What would be some of the roles?
See, filmmaking is a very, very vast, subject. So I call it, it's a combination of art and craft. Craft is that you can learn from various schools and institutes, and you can go to various film schools and pick up all the technical skills. That is the craft. But the art aspect of it is something that you are either born with or you hone it right from your childhood to your later professional life. Like myself being a writer, now you can't go to a school or an institute and become a writer. You can learn some skills, learn some technical aspects, hone your skill. But that's art of being a writer, or that art of writing is inherent in you. Either it is there or it is not there. Just by looking at 10 successful writers, don't start thinking, अरे चलो मैं भी writer बन जाता हूँ, मैं भी actor बन जाता हूँ. Filmmaking is very interesting. So unless and until this is the most important criteria for anyone to step into filmmaking, be it any department of filmmaking, first of all, understand yourself. Understand your own skills. Are you really, really, really up to the mark for a particular skill? Let's say, being an actor, a dancer, a musician, a camera person, a writer. Do you really have it in you? Are you really ready to give up a lot of your time to hone your writing? So that is the first criteria. First of all, understand yourself, examine who you are, and do you have the skill set and the passion and the talent, the art to step into this field. Because filmmaking here is a battlefield. Coming from a family with nobody with nobody there in the in the film industry, it gets tough. You can make a mark. There are hundreds of examples who have done it. Yes, it takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes that extra edge that combines your talent, your marketing, your art, your skill, everything, which I call art and craft. So this is very important for everybody to examine yourself 100%. Be sure, because you might see this as a glamorous field. People are, actors are moving out in their expensive cars and bungalows and this and that, but that doesn't come easy. A few fortunate ones can get it easily, but for others, it might take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of your life energy. And more than 50-60% of people who come to Mumbai, they usually go back after 6 months. कि 6 महीने में कुछ नहीं हुआ. So no, if you are ready to commit your life to this, then only step into this field. And 6 महीने में कुछ नहीं होगा. And हो सकता है कि 2 साल में भी कुछ ना हो. So are you ready to commit that much time, that much of life into this? So that is the first primary thing that you should look into it. Now, filmmaking is filmmaking is something so big that there are so many things. Like, you start with direction. Now you can become a director. You can become an actor, a writer. Now, music itself has so many fields. You can become a music director. You can become a singer, or you can become a lyricist. Then there are production designers. There are costume designers. There is cinematographer, the camera person. There are editors. There are action directors, choreographers. And then nowadays, post-production has opened up in a very, very massive way. The entire field of graphics, VFX, animation, multimedia. So this is being used in filmmaking in a major way in all these big films. If you have seen KGF, RRR, and so that's a massive field that has opened up in all these areas. But then again, like I say, you have to examine yourself, your skill set. What are you really good at? Then only step into that arena and then make sure train yourself into that field, be it a writer, director, any of these fields that I have mentioned, and then only start trying to get a job in this field. That's it. Thank you.
Noted. Really like your suggestion that one should first examine themselves, and that is also what we as an organization in our different career guidance programs that we offer to students, we encourage them to first undergo process of self-assessment. We use various tools for that as well. So definitely, before considering to venture into this field, one should definitely examine themselves, their traits, personality, aptitude,
Perfect.
and right. And so moving on, sir, could you elaborate more on your work? So script writing as part of this broad field of filmmaking. Could you elaborate on that, your work? Could you tell us a few anecdotes?
See, script writing, like I said, it's a very difficult job. It might look glamorous because, see, we work on at least 10 scripts, and out of 10, those 10 scripts, one film gets made. So that's the kind of a ratio or the productivity ratio that we have. And that's why I turned an author, because I have so many stories with me that I could turn into books. See, because students need to understand filmmaking is a very expensive process. Writing is only one of the things which involves filmmaking, which is obviously one of the very main factors upon which the entire film is based. But it takes a lot of money to convert that script into a film, because actors are brought in, director comes in, your cinematographer comes in. Now, with cinematographer comes whole lot of paraphernalia of lights and sets and this and that, production designer, costume designer, music. Every department is there, and every department has to be paid to convert that script into a film. Now, talking about specifically about script writing, see, script writing, uh, like I said, it's an art and a craft. Art is where you understand yourself, where you know I can tell a good story. You can tell a good story, and now for a script writing, you have to convert a story into a screenplay. So what you see on screen, whether it's a feature film, whether today it's a web series or a television show or a documentary, screenplay has to be written. That means whatever is shown on screen, it's there on paper. So even if you start with the sunrise and the morning hues and the traffic coming, sounds of traffic, this, that, accident happening between a van and a car, everything is on paper. So now, like I said, you have to understand the craft of screenplay writing. And screenplay writing, see, if I want to tell you in a nutshell, see, a screenplay is written in 5 acts. Like Shakespeare used to write his plays in 5 acts. So you can divide a screenplay into Act 1, Act 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, taking the example of one of the most popular films, Chak De India, Chak De. Everyone, I think, must have seen Chak De. So now, see, let's see Chak De. Act 1 is where you introduce Shah Rukh Khan as a hockey player, as a disillusioned, as an insulted hockey player, and who goes away. He leaves his home, his family. Act 2 is where the coach comes to offer him a job to train the Indian women's team. And he goes there, starts training, but a lot of girls turn against him. And now Act 3 is how everybody comes together. So now every act, it's kind of a twist. Your story moves to this point, then something happens. Act 2, it moves to a certain point. Act 3, something happens, and 3. So now in 4th act, Shah Rukh Khan starts training all these girls. There is no sponsorship, and suddenly the officials say girls cannot go, boys team is going. The sponsorship has been given to boys. So now they're again stuck. Again twist. Now match between boys and girls. Tuck. Boys salute the girls and they say now girls can go. Tuck. Act 5. Now they're in Australia. Now the World Cup Championship is being played again. Up and down, up and down. India is losing, India is losing. India wins something. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And finally, last match, India wins. And India wins the World Cup. So this is a simple way of describing a 5-act structure of a screenplay where every act takes your story forward, gives it a twist, and moves it forward. So that's how it's like a hook. You're keeping your audience engaged throughout, whether it's a 2-hour film, a 3-hour film, or whatever. Every twist keeps your audience on the edge of your seat. Oh, now what? Now what? Ab maza aayega, ab maza aayega. And now, and once the screenplay, dialogues have to be very interesting, peppered, engaging. So now that's how a script is written. And sometimes you already have actors on board. Like if you already have a Shah Rukh Khan on board, you know how Shah Rukh performs. So sometimes scripts are written keeping a particular actor in mind. And then you can even write song situations. Okay, here's a romantic song. Here's an inspirational song. Here is a bhajan. Here is an introductory song. There's a background music. There's a title song. So everything comes on paper. So if you read a script, it's like watching a film on paper. So that's what a screenplay or a screenwriter's job is. Thank you.
Right, sir. So now moving on to the next question, and also which is something most students in today's time are interested in. What would be the entry pathways to a career in this field? What are some of the courses? Should I do a course to get into this field, or what are the skills then? You mentioned that we should check if we have the requisite skills. So what could be those skills and how to develop them along the way?
Yeah, see, this is not a corporate sector where you take your resume or send your resume to somebody. This doesn't work like that. But yes, still, see, like I said, the first self-assessment is very necessary. And once you realize where you want to go, like if you want to become an actor, or you want to become a director, a writer, or anything, then obviously it is better to get some training. Like a National School of Drama is there for actors, directors, even they train in music, folk art, this, that. So that's a very important step. A lot of NSD actors are there in Bollywood, if you see, who are doing very, very good. Or not even NSD, at least with some very good theater group, where you get some training, where you hone your skill. See, having a talent, having a skill, and having an art is one thing. Now, when you have to polish it so that you can market it and become a professional so that you can earn money out of it is something very different from having a talent. So now you have to learn to hone that skill and to market that skill. So you understand marketing also. So apart from NSD, there is FTII, Film and Television Institute of India in Pune. Now there is another FTII in Rohtak. There is Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute in Kolkata. There's Whistling Woods International in Mumbai. So these are some of the most reputed institutes in India where you can go and learn various aspects of filmmaking. So like FTI will teach you everything from acting, direction, editing, your cinematography, everything. And you can choose wherever you want to do your expertise in wherever you want to hone your skills. Yeah. So these are very, very important things. In Chennai, I think A.R. Rahman has opened a music school that you can check. So these are things where you can learn, where you can polish your skill, where you can polish your craft. And obviously, see, still after this, even if you do all these courses, after this, don't expect you take out your resume, go to, and somebody will give you a job. No. The way to get in is that you start working as an assistant to some senior person. Like if you want to become a camera person and you have already done an FTII course, Still, you have to work as an assistant camera person to a senior DOP, director of photography. Even as a director, you start as an assistant director, assistant writer. Even as an actor, you start taking small roles, maybe in television shows, maybe in web series, maybe in films. Look at Nawaz. He started in one scene. He used to come in one scene. Hardly people didn't even notice him. And now today he's a huge star. Even Manoj Vajpayee, they started from television. Shah Rukh Khan, he started from television. So today, media, so many mediums are available for actors, directors, and all these people. Even for production designers, costume designers, choreographers, the only way is to become an assistant to an established professional. Work under him, learn under him, because see, what you learn in an institute and how an industry functions is completely different. But if you have the skill, you will mold it accordingly. So once you work for, let's say, a few years under a senior camera person or a DOP or choreographer or a action master, whoever, you learn to work in the industry, how and what things are done, and then maybe you can go independent and start working independently. So that obviously takes time. Again, I'm saying this industry will test you. It is like walking on fire. It is gonna burn you. So be ready. And it is difficult because it takes time. A lot of people just give up and go away because kuch nahi ho raha hai, kuch nahi ho raha hai, kuch nahi ho raha hai. But then if you have that courage, if you have that persistence, if you have that skill set, because because I am a good writer. Aaj kuch nahi hua na. I am here for another. I'm not gonna give up and I'm not gonna go away. I'll show it. And you have to be there, stick there, fight, and surely one day will make a peace.
Right, sir. Very insightful. So, a follow-up query to you've already mentioned this, but if I were to ask you directly, how decisive is networking or social capital as a factor in becoming successful in this space?
See, networking works, but it doesn't work much in getting you work actually.
Okay.
I have tried to do that. People go to parties and this and that, you exchange phone numbers, this, that. Unless and until you are good at a skill. Today, because I think world has become so small due to internet and all these things. Even if I'm as an author, see, even if a small work is out, people look at it, people read it. Even a short film, if a student makes a short film today, it's on YouTube, and if it's good, people are watching it. Today, there are so many musicians who started on YouTube and they are huge stars. Like, look at Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, he started on YouTube. Can you imagine?
Right.
And today, he's one of the world's biggest stars. So, networking, unnecessary networking is not needed. Yes, you need to meet the right people. So don't go around ki arey party mein jana hai, sabko milna hai, everybody should see me. That's all bullshit. You should meet the right people. Go approach them. It will take time. You just sending even getting a big director's number will take time. That how to contact him. All filmmakers are not there on social media and they don't even check your message. Rajkumar Hirani is not there. He hardly is on social media. Now to connect and meet Rajkumar Hirani will take time. And even then he will say, oh, you are very good, but I don't work with newcomers. I have, like I met him and he very nicely told me that I only work with a particular writer, Abhijat, he's a friend. And we have worked on all films together. So I'm very comfortable with him. So I don't want to suddenly have a new writer. So I said, okay. So, and that's a process. You keep meeting people, you have your ideas, your stories, you share your stories. And that's how, because even if one director is not working with you, but he knows, like today, Ketan Mehta, I have worked with Ketan, and Ketan talks about me to 10 other people. So that's how networking grows. Be true and good to your skill, to whatever work you are doing, and it will be talked about. So whoever, each and every person is important, whether you're meeting on street, casually in a cafe, or you are meeting as an official, on a work meeting, make sure each meeting, each person counts, because they will be talking to 10 other people and they could make or break you. They can say, अरे बहुत अच्छा writer है और बहुत खराब writer है, इसको तो बात करने की तमीज नहीं है. Because it is not just your talent, it is how you conduct yourself. It's also your human skills. Are you how good are you as a person? And so that also counts. So yes, meet the right people. Don't go out of your way to attend parties and unnecessarily waste your time. That's fine.
Right. So we'll move on to the final section, final question now. So you have already spoken a lot about the challenges present in this space. Challenges of working in this space or even getting work in this space is so hard. So could you point to some examples or tell us more about your challenges or those of your friends?
A lot of people have so many challenges. Like you must have heard stories. Like I said, because I worked with Nawaz, I worked with Irfan, I've worked with Mahesh Bhatt, Tigmanshu Dhulia. So like Tigmanshu is a very good friend of mine. Tigmanshu was working when Tigmanshu made his first film, Hasil. Tigmanshu went to NSD. Like I said, he was a student of National School of Drama. From there, he directed plays. He wanted to become a director. Then he went to Mani Ratnam. He worked as an assistant with Mani Ratnam. There he got an opportunity to write dialogues for Dil Se, which Shah Rukh Khan's film. So he wrote dialogues for Dil Se in Hindi. And there he started writing his own script and wanted to direct. So he made his first film, which was Hasil, starring Irfan Khan. Irfan was also from NSD. So they were very good friends from the same batch. So he could get Irfan. Now they made Hasil. Hasil got huge appreciation at that time. It was massive. Like Tigmanshu Dhulia was like the new director on block. But after Hasil, suddenly he went down. His next film, Charas, didn't work. And for almost 5-6 years, he was out of work. And I have seen him in depression, going through nervous breakdown, this, that. Then, because when I was writing my film Shagird with him, he was going through a bad time because things were not happening. But then after Shagird, things started happening and he started making a lot of films. And now with web series, now he's directing so many web series. Recently, Most Wanted, I think India's Most Wanted Murder or something, his web series has come out. Criminal Justice he directed. So, and now there's another film I'm writing for Tigmanshu Dhulia. So yes, we have seen those ups and downs in each other's life, and but still, we know that this is a part of this life. So you either accept it, either you bow down or get out, or you stick there, and then keep working. And today, Tigmanshu is in a very good position that the biggest of OTT channels, be it Amazon, be it Disney Hotstar, be it the big movie producers, they are all calling him to work with him. A lot of directors, a lot of other, producers and actors are running after him to work with him. After Pan Singh Tomar with Irfan, that gave huge acclaim to Tigmanshu Dhulia. So, see, so many stories. Almost everybody who comes from a non-filming background has a similar kind of a story. They go through these ups and downs, and then it takes time to reach that balance where you create a name, a kind of a trust within this industry that people will say, okay, let's work with this guy. You have to prove. See, nobody knows you here. Why should they work with you? You have to prove with your talent and with your work. And that's a paradox, because you have to prove it. You need work to prove it. So again, nobody's going to give you work as a newcomer, but you need it. So it's a fight. Yes, it will come if you persist, if you go on, and if you don't give up. It will come, and if you have the right talent, if you have the right attitude, and you have the right skill set, it will come.
All right, sir. So you mentioned the ups and downs that one faces while pursuing work in this field. So what makes some people stick despite all of this? Like you are still here in this industry, some of your friends are here. So what makes people stick in this industry, or what makes them quit? What would be the rewards?
See, now, I can tell a lot of people quit because, again, like, it comes back to self-assessment, because a lot of people today on social media watch these people, watch these actors, they look at it as a glamorous life, wow, this, that. So, they are more enamored by this lifestyle. They are attracted by the life of filmmakers or actors or these people here, and they come here to, in that dreamy quality of looking for that dreamy life. And once they find, oh God, this is a difficult place, this is not what I thought, this is not that Instagram story which I saw, this is completely different. And within 6 months or a year or a 2 years, those are the people who quit and leave. Now, people who have a background and who are really artistic, now people who come from NSD, or people who have that innate talent inside them from any background, could be theater, like I come from a journalistic background as a writer. I see, even that might not help, because I don't know, there is something, यहाँ पे मुंबई में कहते हैं ना, कुछ कीड़ा होता है इधर दिमाग में ना, कीड़ा चाहिए, एक भूत होता है. तो जब तक वो कीड़ा नहीं होगा ना आपके अंदर, you will not be able to stick in Mumbai, because even to survive in Mumbai is difficult. Film industry is different. Mumbai is more expensive than Delhi. Even to find a good, decent house, to pay the rent, to pay your bills, to live decently is a fight. If you are not from a very well-to-do family, if you are from a well-to-do family, that's a very different tuition. So that's a fight, and that's how day to day, and every day you are moving out of the house, going from door to door. It's like, cold selling. You're cold selling your skill as a writer, as a director, as an actor. So either as an actor, you're going from one audition to the other. This. Lot of us, yes, we get dissatisfied. And especially there's pressure from family, because after a point, your family will say, kya hua? Itna time ho gaya, you are in Mumbai, nothing is happening. It's better you take up another job, Or some parents will start saying, bhai, teri to umar ho gayi, shaadi kar le. Hai na? So lot of things will start happening, lot of pressure. But there is something inside you. Something inside you. I think it is that voice of soul, your inner voice, or which you call that intuition, that only you will know, which will tell you whether you have the talent or not. And you should listen to that voice, because अपने आप से आप झूठ नहीं बोलते हो कभी. That inner voice will tell you, see, I don't think you have the talent to stick here, so better leave, कुछ और job वॉब कर ले भाई, कुछ कर ले. Or if that inner voice, like my inner voice told me to stick around, things will change, things will move. Yes, now I have to become more market savvy, because I was not very market savvy, how to market my skill as a writer, what to do. Because apart from being a good writer, you have to be a very good narrator. A lot of people don't read. So you have to go and narrate your story. So are you able to narrate your story in the best manner? Are you able to write that half paragraph, which one paragraph that a director will read, is that one paragraph the best you have written in your life? And this has to be every day. Every day you are writing the best of your life. So every day you get up, you write. So it's like going to a battlefield. Every morning you get up, you write. So there is something innate within us which will tell us to stay back, to fight on, or it will tell us that we are not good enough. So you should listen to that inner voice, that intuition, which will tell you about yourself. That's it.
Thank you, sir. So thank you so much, Mr. Mahendra, for today's wonderful conversation that we had. I'm sure answers that you gave would have given a lot of clarity to students who are considering to venture into this space. And I'd also like to inform all our viewers that we do these weekly career classes every Saturday at 4 p.m. And in case you require personalized help, career related help, you can contact us, and I've pasted our details here in the chat box. So please feel free to connect with us. And thank you, Mr. Mahendra, once again.
Thank
Yes,
you so
would you like
much.
to say something? Okay, so we have a few questions from students.
Okay.
We want to know, okay, so this is not a relevant question. So I would request our viewers to ask questions only related to the topic of discussion, which is today, uh, filmmaking. And if you have any other queries, please feel free to ask now. So someone has asked, how is Atlas University in Mumbai?
How is?
Atlas University in Mumbai.
I have no idea. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so we have no questions and we have reached an end to this wonderful session. Thank you, Mr. Mahindra. Thank you to all our viewers for joining us today. And we